Book 19, Mountain Engines. Story 2, Bad Lookout. Rheneas and Skarloey were talking quietly to Cody next morning when Duncan stormed up, followed by Sir Handel. "Hello," chuckled Rheneas. "Here we go." "I nearly came off," fumed Duncan. "Those codgers pushed me. The fin controller says they didn't. He says I kept a bad lookout." "We've no money to mend you," he said, "and if it happens again, I'll have you at the back of the shed. Ugh, why does he always pick on me? It's not fair." Skarloey said nothing. He just winked at Rheneas, like this. "As you were saying, Cody," remarked Rheneas, "you had 2 engines on your trail trip. Did you ever take more?" "No, our steep is so steep that we're only allowed 1. We each have our own. Mine's called Catherine. I know her well. That's most important." "Why?" asked Sir Handel. "They're only coaches." "Ours," said Cody, "are something more. You pull your coaches and you can see ahead. We push ours up so we can't see. They watch the line for us. The guard watches too, of course, but Catherine's so clever that I know at once if anything is wrong." "That must take a load off your mind," said Skarloey. Cody smiled. "But not off my buffers. Climbing's hard work and needs a lot of steam. My fireman and I have a tiring time. Coming down," he went on, "it's different. Catherine and I just roll. We need no steam for that." Sir Handel sighed enviously. "I should like that," he said. "With your automatic brakes, it sounds like a rest cure." "That," replied Cody, "was just the mistake poor Godred made." "Who," asked the Low Engines, "is Godred?" "Godred was our number 1, and named after a king," Cody replied. "Perhaps that went to his smoke box and made him conceited. He'd never keep a good lookout. He'd roll down the line looking anywhere but the track. 'You'll have an accident,' I told him. 'Oh, pooh,' he said. 'I've got automated tracks, haven't I? And Driver's got his air brake. What more do you want?' 'More sense from you,' I said. 'No engine can stop at once if he isn't ready to obey his driver's controls.'" "The first thing a young engine learns," agreed Skarloey. "Godfrey never learned sense. His driver and fireman and the manager all spoke to him. They even took him to pieces to see if anything was wrong, but he still went on in the same old way. One day, I was going up and waited at a station for Godred, coming down to pass me. As I waited, so it happened. One moment he was on the track, the next, his driver and fireman jumped clear as he rolled over. No one was hurt. His coach stayed on the rails, and the guard braked it to a stop. They brought Godred home next day. 'We've no money to mend you,' said our manager, 'so you'll go to the back of the shed.' As time went on, poor Godred got smaller and smaller, till nothing was left." "What happened?" asked Duncan anxiously. "It's not nice to talk about," said Cody. "But what happened? Why isn't it nice?" "Our drivers use Godred's parts to mend us," answered Cody mournfully. Sir Handel and Duncan were unusually silent long after Cody had gone home. Neither Skarloey or Rheneas ever mentioned that Cody had made the story up.